morning and welcome back. This is another episode of the prep for the Columbus Marathon, 6:14 a.m. And I believe we're going to start off with about a mile warm-up, and then we'll move into 4 sets once again at a 10-minute, 9-minute, 8-minute, 7-minute pace, or 7-minute rep. I'm going to take you guys through the workout today. And then we're going to come back and talk about the mindset around Columbus Marathon. And if you are in a rest prep, some things that I do whenever, not things start to suck, but whenever things start to actually get pretty hard and the monotony of marathon prep, Hyrox prep, whatever you are in, sets in. And you're kind of getting used to doing the same thing over and over and over, and every day feels the same. But how to find beauty in that, and once again, a few things that I learned to always bring myself back and get on track. But nonetheless, we're going to go out to the track. We're going to pick Jake up, and I'm going to take you guys through the workout with me. Aside from everything else, the new Justin Bieber album, if you haven't listened to it, I'm not going to lie, man, probably like a 9 out of 10. Very solid. Devotion, probably my favorite song on the album, hands down. What up? So as always, the plan is to try and be better than last week. We did this exact same workout last week, and we tried to hold the 650 to 710 pace and did a pretty decent job, but I want to be more efficient this time, so I'm hoping that I can do it with a better heart rate, showing that my fitness has gotten better. All right, so the workout for today specifically, I am going to go through it step by step with you. Right now in the marathon prep, it's kind of broken up into 2 8-week blocks. So the first 8-week block, I'm working on building my base. So I have I have 2 sessions every week that is a progression run, and then the other session is a marathon effort pace run. So this is usually like right around an hour, a little bit more than an hour, and that's today. So I'm not doing any like 10 by 800s or 6 by 800 or 12 by 400. That's later in the 16-week prep. In the beginning, it's more a lot of threshold sessions where I'm holding marathon paces and intervals for longer periods of time and building my base and getting the mileage up. And then eventually we start mixing in that quick turnover more toward the last 8-week block at the end. But today's workout is we're doing a warm-up and then 4 by 30-second accelerations. And these are all going to be in like zone 4, so in the 6-minute pace. And then we'll go into 10, 9, 8, and 7-minute reps, like I said before. And these are at 6:56 to a 7:14. So we'll see what we have in store for today, and hoping to have a pretty good workout leading into tomorrow being the long run for the week. So this will be the first week that we're peaking, and this is the last quality session of peak week, and then next week we'll go into a deload. So let's get after it. One more 30-second rep. So it'll be 4 by 30 seconds where we rev up, and then we'll go into the first 10-minute set. That was the last interval. 10, 9, 8, 7. Now we have a cool down. I felt strong. Shouldn't choke that right now. cool down, and then we'll wrap it up at the end. Before we go over the splits and everything from the workout, I had a friend this week send me a message, and he sent me a scripture, and it was relating to something that I posted on the line. So shout out to my good buddy Bo. So Bo sent me James chapter 3, and while I've never been super spiritual, meaning I went to church growing up, but as of recently in my life, I've been paying a lot more attention, praying more, and trying to find my life through it. So like anything in life, like when you want to know more, you reach out to people that know more than you. And I have a couple friends who are really deep in their faith. So I ask them more questions because I don't understand it very well, but I try to make my own relationship with it, if that makes sense. But Bo said in the book of James chapter 3, it talks about taming the tongue and how powerful the tongue is. It says something like, look at the ships, they are so large and driven by the winds, they are guided by such a small rudder, wherever the will of the pilot directs. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. And what I take from that is how impactful your words are. So for me, before the workout, I was talking about how my legs felt heavy. They were sore from other workouts or runs throughout the week, and then went through the run, and the run was great and it was fine. Just as much as it talks about how a small rudder steers the ship, your words really do steer where your life goes. So I've tried to be a lot more intentional on the things I say and what I'm going for in my life, and being very directional and saying things with a purpose. With that said, all right, now for the workout, it ended up being, I don't have a mileage here, but 13,500 meters, if you can do the math on that, in about 10 seconds. But probably right around 8 miles or so. Average heart rate of 157, average pace 724. And then for the intervals, we ended up doing the first 10 minutes at 6:58, and then 9 minutes at 6:56, 7 minutes 6:58, last one right on the dot at 7 minutes. Looking back on that, that is quite literally exactly where I should be at, and it felt really good. My heart rate was probably higher than it should have been toward the end, more toward very hard zone 4. But the rest of the workout was those tempo paces where it should have been. So feeling really good. It went better than it did last week, and now we're just going to keep building on that same workout and the progression run each week on Monday, and then either Thursday or Friday. So about 5 more weeks of that, and then we'll go into 8 weeks of longer mileage and interval sessions. So that is a wrap on the trip. All right, we are back at the apartment. It's 8 a.m. and I'm going to cook some breakfast before I have a couple coaching calls, getting programs together for some people, getting races planned out. But I think Bradley would be upset if I didn't show you guys what the fridge looks like. I know that's absurd. Trust me, I know it's absurd. But these yogurts don't go bad very fast, and they're always out, so I had to grab them all. The banana is the best by far. I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me shit. I tried them all. Banana's the best. These Carmela tortillas, we've been going through like crazy. But then we always keep our protein on the side, and then this is a little bit insane. But Bradley has everything in like little drawers and whatnot. I promise I'm not that bougie, man. I promise I'm not. If you love sourdough as much as Jake and I do, you you gotta check this brand out if you guys have a Kroger around you. But he sent me this, Jake sent me this picture, and he said, game changer. Ace sourdough, ACE. It's unreal. Also, if you guys are new here, the flip on these is extremely important. You got to get the eggs, you got to get the yolks aligned so you can scoop and it doesn't fall off one side or another. And we're flipping it over, but huge deal here. Let's see if I have it in me this morning. Oh, I don't know, man. Say 7. All right. I've had a few people reach out about, there's a lot of people that are in marathon prep right now or half marathon prep, or maybe they're getting ready for their first high rocks in the fall. And they've reached out saying that they've had a really bad run or a really bad workout. And some people have had a string of them and they really haven't felt like themselves. Like they're foggy, their CNS is kind of fried, and they're not recovering from their runs. And to put it simply, if you're working a job, you're working a lot of hours, you might have kids, maybe you just started having kids, and that's also something that's going on in your life. And then on top of that, your training volume that you've never trained before. These are all tests. I believe it's all an opportunity to figure out what you prioritize in your life and to figure out how to find the best version of yourself in all of those. And there's going to be times where training does take the back burner, and that doesn't mean that you're not committed at all. It just means you have to make adjustments. That's it. Instead of skipping a workout or skipping an interval workout, maybe you change it to a tempo workout where you draw it back a little bit. You still get a little bit of turnover on your legs and still get maybe 75% of the miles in, but you're adjusting because you haven't recovered at that point. And there are times when I believe discipline in that sense is going to be what carries you through versus always trying to just nut out a workout or get through something for the sake of getting through something. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the current office setup that we got going on, but that's what we usually do, any type of podcasting that we do. The simple little lights that we have from Amazon, and then the little desk over here that we got, and the big ass calendar. This is where I do all of my work every single day. So all of the programming and building the coaching business. So I'm going to sit down and kind of take you guys through everything that has been going on in the last year. So I played college baseball for 2 years, and I never actually played. So my first year, I went to a 4-year, it was a smaller school where I thought I would start right away. I didn't. Culture shock to me. I wasn't as good as I thought I was. I went to a junior college where I was going to play, and COVID shut that down. I came back home, went to school for exercise science. So I was going to classes during COVID. I would pull up to science labs with a mask on, and I hated it, to be completely honest. Did not like it at all. I vividly remember a day calling my dad and saying, I can't do this anymore. There's no way. Like, school was just, I was good at school. I was always honestly a straight A student, but I could not stand it anymore. It felt like I didn't know what I was getting out of it. I didn't understand the reason. But I did finish anyway. I finished school. And while I was in school, I worked 60 to 70 hours a week. So I would wait on tables for 30 to 40 hours, and then I would work at a local supplement store for the remainder of those hours every single week. And right before I was going to go to chiropractic school, I dropped out. I dropped out of chiropractic school, and I decided to pursue the supplement stores full time. It was the first time I had ever been a part of business, a small business at that. And I loved the idea of being able to chase something that you're truly passionate about with no boundaries, really. Like the world was your oyster. That was the first time I had ever experienced that. School always puts boundaries, and you follow this path and you do this to get this piece of paper. And I was almost exhilarated by that feeling. So I walked in the store one day and I told the owners, I said, I know you don't have anything for me right now, but I'm just here to tell you I'm committing everything I have to this. And I dropped it all. And I worked my way up in the company. I eventually operated it, long story short, and I ran the company. There was 5 stores for about 3 years. And this year, ahead of the company being acquired by a good group of people, there were just some things that happened, and I decided that I was not going to be a part of it anymore. And I also wanted to be able to start my own thing, and kind of leading into what I was talking about earlier, operate with no boundaries, operate how I would like to and build something that I know is mine. So that's what led me to start 11 Training and Performance this year. And 11 is a one-on-one fitness coaching program that helps people who are like me in the position I was in. When I was operating the company, there were times when training became, I don't want to say non-existent, I just didn't feel it anymore. I showed up to the gym and I left. I was looking at the clock the whole time. I just lifted and I left. And then I got into running and endurance style training, and it completely changed my life. I will never forget what that feeling was like of panting again, like during a workout, like being destroyed. But for some reason, it was a feeling of like being alive again. And that played into everything. That played into my relationships, to how I was leading at my job, to how I spoke and my body language, everything. And what I want to be able to bring is that feeling to people who are also in a similar position. Like, you've played sports in the past, you've been competitive, training you don't feel it anymore. There's no system or goal or anything. So I'm helping take people who are getting into it for the first time, helping them sign up for their first race, and taking them through the steps of doing that. And I love strength training when it comes to endurance sports. So I have been helping people a lot on that end as well, structure their strength training around running. So it allows me to work with people one-on-one, see people reach their goals, and it's the most fulfilling thing in the entire world. And yeah, right now we're just in the first year of it, so in the beginning stages, and I'm building everything out by myself alone, and that's the way that I like it. And it's scary. You're taking a chance. I open my own LLC and just by myself every day. There's no one else to count on but you. But that's where I perform the best. So just try to give as much value as I can before I ever ask for any type of a sale, because I believe that that's how business should be ran. You should give value first, and then people will come your way based on how much value you give. So on today's coaching call, the issue that this person was dealing with, and I think a lot of people could probably relate to this, it's not that he doesn't know how to strength train. He's been a professional athlete in the past. It's that he didn't know how to structure it with the running, and he couldn't do heavy back squatting. So he couldn't axial load anything. So he's kind of just going in and winging it, and it's working well, but he wants something that he can just show up, check off his boxes, and know he's moving in the right direction. And we put a plan together for him, and he has a 10K coming up, and he's training for the Indy Marathon. So 3-day-a-week strength split, but it's really about moving through like the different planes of motion and making sure you're not just doing one plane all the time. So we have him on like full body splits, a good running rehab program to make sure he's not experiencing any injuries along the way. But that's kind of what we're building out right now for the coaching, outside of training, and a little bit about my life, so you have a little bit more, I guess, backstory on why I do what I do, why I train the way I do, and where I'm at in my life. It's just really transparent, and that's where things are at. So I'm going to get on this call. I'm going to help him out and probably go through about a 3-hour work block, and then I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later ahead of going to the gym for our strength session tonight. All right, we are done with work, and before we go to the gym session, I do want to show you guys these, okay? So these are all the flavors. These Go Macro bars are unreal. I'm not a big protein bar guy, but the ingredients are super clean. They don't hurt my stomach whatsoever. Only 11 grams of protein, but it's more of a whole food based bar, so it actually does fill me up, and I've been doing those right before all of my workouts usually. So breakfast, lunch, and then one of those with a piece of fruit, and then head to my strength training session before I come back. But now we are going to head out, go to the gym, and I will walk you guys through the session for today. We have some heavier back squats, and then I'll walk you through some of the exercises that I do to make sure I'm maintaining my joints and everything as the miles get higher and marathon prep goes on. So next, I will meet you at the gym. Today on the agenda, we're doing back squats. We're doing some vertical press. We're gonna do some weighted pull-ups up here on the pull-up bar. And then I'm gonna take you through a lot of the, or all of the movements that I use to become not only a better runner, but a healthier runner. A lot in the beginning of my running journey, I dealt with a lot of injuries. I had Achilles issues at one point. I had issues with my knees at one point. And a lot of that stemmed from how I was strength training, and no one ever explained that to me. So that's another reason why I started the personal training business, was because I wanted to help people with that issue. But I'm going to show you how I move through different planes of motion, and also mix in movements at the end of my workout that are going to help me recover from harder runs like the one you saw today, and then be ready for a long run tomorrow. One of the main reasons I don't use a belt when I squat was for me to be able to learn how to breathe into my stomach and use my core almost as a natural weightlifting belt. I wasn't able to lift as much weight, but it made my core stronger, helped with my mobility. All right, we're warmed up. Now we're gonna do 3 top sets of 4. Moving on to strict press, and we're supersetting that with weighted pull-ups. I really like this superset because they're both obviously like in the frontal plane, and they're both vertical movements, so it's a great just back and forth of working opposite muscle groups. My goodness. And for everyone that watches often, Briley's in here with me most days of the week, and we're documenting to when Briley finally gets a full pull-up unassisted, and she's pretty close. Not gonna lie, we graduated from the purple band to the black band?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've moved from that band to this band. So we're doing good, but
they're hard.
The day that she gets it, we'll throw it on here and do a real. All right, next, maybe you have seen me do these and maybe you haven't, but I would attribute this move to a huge reason why my hips became stronger the more I got into running. And I had to start with these body weight, and I progressed them the weight of kettlebell I use over time. But all we're doing here is finding a distance apart that allows me to squat. And I'm not just sitting straight to the side. I'd sit back. And it's single leg lateral lunges. If your gym has one of these, I like to use a wedge, and I'm gonna superset the lateral lunges with these. But it's single leg calf raises, but I'm doing them toe elevated. This was huge for my Achilles whenever I injured it the first time. All right, so 2 more that I'm not doing in this workout, but I do want to show you, is ATG split squats. This one, once again, if you don't have a wedge, you can just get a plate at your gym and put it under your heel. And what I'm focusing on here is driving my knee over that front toe. If you haven't seen Knees Over Toes guy on Instagram, he posts a lot of this stuff, but it really does work wonders. And I let my front heel
come up a little bit. So the better you get at these, you can hold dumbbells to add weight to them over time. You can also do a barbell if you want as you get better at these, but starting out just body weight. The foot you're stabilizing with, I go up on my toe as I travel down, and I'm just tapping my heel on the ground and driving back through. So I'm letting that knee travel out over the toe and pushing back. Now these obviously are the most important exercise for running. All right, and that is a wrap on the workout for today. That is usually how I'm always doing my strength work. I always break it down into full body sessions, and I try to get a leg movement in. It's either a hinge, a split squat, or some form of regular squat, back squat, front squat, into a push and a pull, rotational movement, core, running rehab at the end. And we just rinse and repeat that every day. Right now, I'm at the point in the Columbus Marathon prep where I had a friend ask me the other day, what's your goal with this race? Like, is sub 3 the goal? Is that what you're planning on doing? And I thought hard on that for a little while, and I had to ask myself, Brandon, why haven't you announced a goal? Like, why have you been working my ass off, obviously, and trying to show you guys every step of the process, but why haven't I announced a goal? And for me this time, I think it's the fact that a goal has always restricted me either to paces that match that goal or mess with my mind in terms of what I think is possible. So what I'm saying in that sense is I don't want to set a goal this time. I want to work as hard as I can and show up on the day of, knowing that there wasn't one step skipped the entire way. There wasn't one meal skipped, there wasn't one workout skipped, there wasn't one run skipped. And I was diligent about every piece of the process, and I let the chips fall where they may. My main goal is to always bring you as much knowledge and as much valuable information as possible, and allow you to just kind of feel like you're hanging out with me in a day of training and a day of building my personal training business. So the reason I would say my energy has been lower is because the miles are getting higher. I think this week after tomorrow, I'm supposed to finish at around 53. As long as the run goes well and everything goes as is planned, and they continue to climb. So we're going to keep working hard, and we're going to keep seeing what's possible and keep breaking barriers along the way. So I'm going to go back, and we're going to eat some dinner with Briley, and we will talk a little bit there before we wrap it up. All right, we're back at the house, and two things. Number one, I probably am going to get a lot of shit for this, maybe not, but I eat a ton of carrots, dude. Like, not this big, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna eat the whole carrot, but while I'm waiting till we make dinner, this is what I'm eating every time. Number two, Briley makes this salad every single week. We haven't had it in a while, but bear with me, it is one of the best meals I've ever had in my entire life. So we'll do chicken thighs with it. And it's like, she does like a lemon, and then we also mix in some other seasonings as well to this salad with like some nuts and then berries as well. But it is really good, and I'm going to give you guys the recipe for it if you want to try it, and we'll get it from her whenever she gets here. So for the seasonings, we're rocking these right there: garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and chili powder. And then I will cut a lemon in half and then squeeze half of the lemon over top of the chicken. Little update on the chicken. That's what we're looking like. And then the salad is done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Salad. Now it is time to eat. And
So hungry.
that took a little bit longer than I would have anticipated, but how was it?
Okay.
We talk about that dance. It was like at least a 9 out of 10. We are now 3 weeks in, so we have 13 more weeks to go, and we will document the rest of it as we go, and I'll give as many pieces of knowledge and little nuggets of wisdom along the way. So appreciate you guys stopping by. That's a wrap on the last episode. See you next time.